bless your name. We give you the glory and the praise. We thank you for all that you've done. We thank you that the victory is yours, and the victory being yours, it is ours. That's all they can do is take our bodies and just whatever they want to do with them, if they can get through our defenses. And we thank you, and we praise you, and we give you the glory that these things that you have put upon us, that these things that you have promised us, they will come to pass. Many have come to pass. Many are being evident even as we speak. Yes, even the heathen are in very suffering. They don't even know their children, those of old, their children are suffering so bad. Even to the point where the heathen gonna wish that he would have stayed to tell, because he has showed his true heart in that he become rich and the rest are nothing. Just like everyone else that would come rich and view everybody else that has less than them as nothing. Yes, even if the person has a good heart, because they don't have the materials or the material things or the authority or the power or the position that they have. Yes, these things are a test unto men, and men have miserably failed. And we ask you that we began to see you and to please you, even as Moses set that example, even as Moshe set that example in Elijah and Elisha. All the men of the Bible, the prophets of the Bible, that they have set the example that they have sought only to please you and not those who have the money or those who they presume to have the power, because you told us not to put men above you. And many of us have, even those to great preachers and teachers, where these men use to manipulate, they give them money because that is their power, that is their God. We don't understand it, we don't get it. But oh, help us to understand in all things what is coming to pass and what is happening. Yes. Yes, and we thank God for you, and also we thank God for those of you who have been with us from the beginning, and we thank God for those of you that are joining the midst, and we thank God that you who have just joined and those of you that are about to join. Oh, yes, we give God the praise and the glory for you, because not by chance you have got here. And it's not by chance. God have led you here. God have led you to come in and view this thing. Whether you negative or positive, it's a testimony against you, or it's a testimony for you, or it is an encouragement to you, and maybe it might be a learning curve to you. Yes. And we give God the glory for you. Yes, yes, yes. Whatever situation or whatever intention you have of listening to this post. And we're going to say good morning, good afternoon, those of you on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook platforms. I am T. Clay, and walk with me through the book of Jubilees. I got that right this time, didn't I? Yes, the book of Jubilees. And we're in verse chapter 2. And it reads, "And the angel of the presence spake to Moses according to the word of the I Am, saying, Write the complete history of the creation, how in 6 days the I Am finished all his works and all that he created, and kept the Sabbath on the seventh day, and hallowed it for all ages, and appointed it as a sign for all his works. And for on the first day he created the heavens which are above," we're in the first day, "and the earth, and the water," count them, "and all the spirits which serve before him, and the angels of the presence, and the angels of the sanctification, and the angels of the spirit of fire, and the angels of the spirit of the winds, and the angels of the spirit of the clouds, and the darkness, and of the snow, and of the hail, and of the hoarfrost, and the angels of the voices of the thunder and of lightning, and the angels of the spirit of the cold and of the heat, and of the winter, and of the spring, and of autumn, and of summer, and of all the spirits of his creatures which are in the heavens and on earth. And he created the abysses in the darkness, even the tide and night, and the light and dawn, and day, which he hath prepared in the knowledge of his heart." God prepared it all. You see what he said? He said he created the spirits, the angels first. How long ago was that? See, you trying to figure God out with your carbon dating and all this other garbage that you have. You don't know how old this earth is. You don't know how old the angels are. Have they been here millions of years? I doubt it. Who made God? But who made God that made the God? Who made God that had to just as foolish as day and night and two left shoes. Yes, God's been. God has been. You say man makes up God. No, man can't make that up. He made up the name God, but he didn't make God up. He didn't make Tata and Zambi or Sanini Nanini up. No, those things are not so. How can God make himself? But you can make an idol. You can make a wooden cross. You can make an Isis. You can make a whatever your ancestors made as a idol or idolary. You made it. Just as foolish. Oh, deliver your people, most holy Sanini Nanini. Now, he says this in verse 3, and whereupon he saw his works and praised him and lauded him for him on the account of all his works, for 7 great works did he create on the first day. In other words, God praised himself. God gave himself a day off. In other words, all that he created, all that he could think of, the intricacies of all his creations, he had put it right there. Can you imagine? I mean, even the scientists cannot go into the intricacies of God's creation. They have not discovered everything at the bottom of the sea, nor can they go above the earth in such a manner as to discover. But they can tell you an hypothesis or a guess, or to think that when they say I think or a guess, it's just they're guessing. They don't know. Come on here. Look for those key words. I think, I guess, based upon this. No. That ain't the way it goes. Verse 4, and on the second day he created the firmament in the midst of the waters, and the waters were divided on that day. Half of them went up above, and half of them went down below. And the firmament that was in the midst of the face of the whole earth. Now this was only the work of God created on the second day. You know, God created the top and the bottom, the atmosphere. This is what divides the below us and above us. The atmosphere, okay? We can breathe. Yes, it feels so good. Now, and on the third day, he commanded the water to pass from off the face of the whole earth into one place, and dry land to appear. Think, dry land. Let's go again. And the water did so as he commanded them, and they retired off the face of the earth into one place outside of this firmament, and the dry land appeared. In other words, there was only one continent. One huge continent. No matter how you try to put it, even to Noah's day, it was one huge continent. Yes, that's it. You go back into the book of Genesis, into the genealogy of the Hebrew. You would say, in the days of Peleg, before the earth was divided. Come on, he ain't talking about people, he's talking about the land. He says, now, see, this is how you got people in Aboriginal America. This is how you got Aboriginal Australia. This is how you got the Tanzanians. This is how you got all these people. After Noah landed, they all split and went divided their own ways. And then when the earth split, then they were stuck on those lands. See, they're going to tell you all kind of crazy stuff and all this other stuff. Yes, they did have boats and stuff where they can go across and visit each other. Yes, oh, hey, Bob, or hey, Kunta Kinte, how you doing? And all that, and still go. These was the same people. They looked alike, so they didn't see no harm in it. Now, see, this is the jealousy of those that are of a different hue. They're jealous of that because they know it. Not the ignorant of the kind, but I'm saying those who have studied. They know this. And they're trying to convince themselves and others that are ignorant of who was on this earth first that they were. And some of you have bought this hook, line, and sinker. I don't know why you do. Yes, it's kind of crazy. I mean, it's self-evident. It's evident regardless. You can lie all day. You can show all kind of charts and graphs and all this other stuff and try to make yourself seem superior or what you call it, imperial and all this other stuff. But the word is the word, and the evidence is there. Even in Egypt, they try to find out if they were going to put if these things could look like them, and find out that all things went black. It's not for my own pride or anything. This is the way God had it made. You see, you were deceived by the devil. Those of you, those heirs in Egypt, you were deceived by the devil because you accepted, walk humbly before your God. And those of you who God had made, and you know you were the first people, walk humbly before your God. Because we must be as the angels. We must be as them. We must act like them. In other words, our chief focus should be on pleasing even our God, our power. Yes. And on the third day, he commanded the waters to pass from off the face of the earth into one place and the dry land to appear. And the waters did so as he commanded them, and they retired from off the face of the earth into one place of this firmament, and the dry land appeared. And on that day, he created for them all the seas, and this is within the lands, according to their separate gathering places, and all the rivers, and all the gatherings of water in the mountains, and on all the earth, and all the lakes, and all the dew of the earth, and the seed which is sown, and all sprouting things and fruits bearing trees, yes, and trees of wood, and the garden of Eden in Eden, and all plants after their kind. These four great works God created on the third day. It's not so much where the Garden of Eden is. It's not so good how this stuff becomes. The whole thing that matters is your purpose, to worship and serve even the Creator. How do we do it? We till the ground, we feed our mouths, we bear after our kind. What we do? He didn't say go after no animals and all this other stuff and walk out of your agenda. He didn't say do that. He said, hey, be fruitful and multiply. He even told the animals to bear after their kind. Everything has an order, but man has many times walked out of his order. From man even to the woman, out of your order. There's an order for everything, and this order is where the sin comes in at. Because of the lust of your flesh, you want to be in charge. You want to be the person that wants everything. You want to be the one that everybody look to. You want attention. You want approval of all the masses. Yes, you want the power that everybody obeys you and fears you. This is of the devil. Look at the temptation of ascendancy, even those that call him Jesus. Look at his temptation. All those things did that Satan offer him. He didn't own it. He knew the Creator owned it, but he told him everything. We got to live by everything that proceeds out of the mouth of the Creator. Yes, he said that. And on the fourth day, verse 8, he created the sun, the moon, and the stars, and set them in the firmament of heaven. In other words, above the atmosphere. He set them up there to give light upon all the earth and to rule over the day and the night and divide the light from the darkness. Now you have to realize there's a pressure when you go down below, and there's a pressure when you go up above. Your ears stop up, and you feel like things are crushing you and all these other things. This is what happened even what they call outer space. Yes, there is a firmament. Now he says now there's pressure above and there's pressure below. And only if you're created to go in those things, then you can navigate through them with no thought whatsoever. Now, he said to give light upon all the earth and to rule over the day and the night and divide the light from the darkness. Verse 9. And God appointed the sun to be a great sign on the earth for the days and for the Sabbaths and for the months, for the feast and for the years and for the Sabbath years and for Jubilees years, for all the seasons of the year. And it divided the light from the darkness and for prosperity, that all things may prosper which shoot and grow on the earth. These three kinds he made on the fourth day. Now, he did make that on the fourth day. And on the fifth day, he created great sea monsters. I mean, you talking about whales, you talking about these, dolphins, they're big, sharks. You got the whale shark. I mean, you got all kind of huge animals. Now, what was bigger than that, I don't know. I just know what we have in this day. And he says, and on the fifth day he created great sea monsters in the depth of the water, for these were the first things of flesh was in the water. that were created. And the scientists, tadpoles came upon the land, and next thing you know, they got to crawling, and they start having tails, and then they turned into this, and the monkeys and everything, and then they turned into Neanderthal. They turned it all, get out of here, you're full of crap. Dung, refuse, rubbish. He said the depths of the water, for these were the first things of flesh that were created by his hands. They didn't, should they say, progress into something else? No, they still the same as they are now. They might adapt to their surroundings. So you try to let that old mighty thing that calls itself so educated that he can't even, he's trying to figure out, make his own intellect so superior that he's a fool. Now, that were created by his hands, the fish and everything that moves in the water and everything that flies, the birds and all their kind. These were created on the fifth day, yes. Now, 12, verse 12, and the sun rose above them to prosper them. And above everything that was on the earth, everything that shoots out of the earth, all fruit-bearing trees and all flesh. These three kinds he created on the fifth day. In verse 13, he says, now on the sixth day he created all the animals of the earth and all the cattle and everything that moves on the earth. And 14, he says, after all this, this is the angel of presence talking. This is one of the angels of presence talking. They are in the presence of the Most High, yes. Now, he said, all this he created man and a woman. He created them and gave them dominion over all that is upon the earth and the seas and over everything that flies and over the beasts and over cattle and over everything that moves on the earth and over the whole earth. And over all this he gave him dominion. He gave you, man, dominion. Yes, he did. He gave you dominion. Yes. Now, and these four kinds he created on the sixth day, and there were altogether 22 kinds. How did he do this? You want to find out, but you can never have that power to create. You see, man is crazy. He's trying to compare himself with God, making these robots. God give it to him to see what he's going to do. Because even in Psalms chapter 2, he said, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine vain? Read that chapter. Yes, he says, now, and there were altogether 22 kinds. And he finished all his works on the sixth day, and all that is in the heavens and on the earth and all, and in the seas and in the abysses. That's in the deep holes, the bottom holes. There are creatures everywhere. Now in the light and in the darkness and in everything. And he gave us the great sign, the Sabbath. Ooh, the Sabbath day. It ain't no doggone Sunday. That was what the devil gave you. Or the Satan gave you that day, that you might be tempted, and you just took it hook, line, and sinker. Some of you were forced. I give you that. But anyway, that we should work 6 days, but keep the Sabbath on the seventh day from all work. He said all work. Just chill. Take it easy. Don't do nothing. Just chill out. Think about him. That's all he's saying. And all the angels of the presence and all the angels of the sanctification are set apart. These two great classes he hath hidden us to keep the Sabbath with him in heaven and on earth. Now there is angels that is in the presence of the God, the Most High, and there's angels that were sanctified or set apart that were on earth to manage it too. See, man was put down here to manage the earth. He didn't put down here to destroy the earth like some people do. We call them Westerners, have destroyed the earth big time. I know I ain't lying. But these two, he hath hidden us to keep the Sabbath with him on heaven and earth. And he said to us, behold, I will separate unto myself a people from among all the peoples. This was before people even knew. These will keep the Sabbath day, and I will sanctify them unto myself as my people, and I will bless them as I have sanctified the Sabbath day, and do sanctify it unto myself, because this is a great accomplishment that I have done. This is what the angel of, should I say, presence is saying. This is one of the angels that's been in the presence of the Most High. Now he says, my people will bless them, and I have sanctified the Sabbath day, and do sanctify to myself a most holy day, a most reverence day, not Sunday. That is Egyptian garbage. So you have to realize, yours in the United States, this is part of Egypt too. This is a part of Egypt too, if not Egypt. Now he says, now to sanctify it to myself, and so shall I bless them. And he said, now to sanctify myself, and so shall I bless them. Bless them for what? Keeping the Sabbath day. Because with the Sabbath, we proclaim that God is God. We proclaim that God is the creator of all things. We proclaim that God is just it and then some. Yes. It's not even words can't even explain. All we can say is hallelujah or hallelujah or hallelujah, however you want to say it. Yes, we proclaim God is all in all. And he said unto us, behold, and he said, I will bless them, and they will be my people, and I shall be their God. And I have chosen the seed of Jacob. We're gonna stop at this verse right here because we're running a little late, but we're gonna do it. He said, I've chosen the seed of Jacob from amongst all that I've seen, and I have written him down as my firstborn. This was before Jacob was even born. You call him supplanter, you call him all this, but he was already purposed. How did Esau come out of that womb before the one who's supposed to be the firstborn come out? This has been the workings of spirits. Yes, it was the struggle of good and evil, of those who were promised and those that were foolish. He said, my firstborn son have I sanctified him unto myself forever and ever. So there's no way you can take, you can say Jacob is those people over there, Jacob is those people in Egypt and those people down there. It don't matter what you say. God knows them who he have chosen. It don't matter. You just a fool. You find out who you are. You just a fool. You can make societies and everything else. You can cause yourself to be raised up above the heavens and all these other things. But God knows those who are his. And those of you that have raised yourself up in your own pride and your own thievery, you have made yourself a fool instead of being humble and going to Jacob and helping him. But you chose to curse him, to hang him, to malign him, to take Jacob and then just whip his babies out of his stomach. And oh, yeah, oh, it sounds so bad. But this is what you've done. And now you say you, Jacob. You're nothing. Just nothing, less than nothing. Yes, that's what you are. And he says, I will teach them the Sabbath day, that they may keep the Sabbath thereon from all works. And that is the book of Jubilees, chapter 2, verse 20. And we continue on through verse 21 in the next video. Until then, peace.